like, you know, I'm a human being with conversations with people. And like, you just can't have a like, anytime I go in to talk to him, it's a debate. I'm like, can't we just like talk?
Beginnings.
Do you think Relly's like super aggro or like kind of like looking for content like to like be a little disingenuous? Is that what you think?
No, I don't think Relly's disingenuous at all. I think fucking Relly does what Relly does. Like literally, like what's his title right now? Drama farming 24/7, something like that. Like, so you know, Relly fucking asks people questions to get the take he wants, and then he hits it. Like Relly ain't fucking stupid. He's making like fucking S tier content over there.
He's trying to make.
Oh, okay.
I want to see if I can't get in this.
So you forgive him for his interrogation, for his hardcore interrogation of you?
I don't think there's anything to like forgive. We just fucking, yo, people just roll differently.
Dude,
like,
I want to join in this
like,
chat so bad right now.
I'm on the left and I fucking light people up that like I'm like irrational. I can't have normal fucking conversations and relationships with people. It's kind of
can't. I'm not without Dylan's permission. I'm not gonna come in.
I think the first one was about he was doing the money tight thing, where he was doing the whole, you know, people just don't want to grind and work hard, and you know that's why, you know, the left complains about money and wants socialism. And I explained to him, I was like, at the time I lived in New York City. I was making like $85,000 a year and I broke even. And he like totally fucking aped me. He was just like
aped you, huh?
Yeah, you know, ugly on an ape. Like he just went in on me. Like he's like, you have to be
interesting choice of words there.
How could you not save money with that much money?
Aped
was,
you, huh?
Aped me, huh? Yeah, aped you. Yeah, Dylan's got it.
In New York City,
Dylan's got it.
$2,500 a month for a 1-bedroom, $600 a month for parking, $250 a month for a subway card, like, and I'm getting for not saving money living in New York from somebody who lives someplace with a much lower cost of living.
Oh.
Yeah, Relly wants it. Now he wants to talk. Relly loves hitting me. It's cool. He's actually listening in and wants in. It's cool.
You sure? I don't want to cause anything.
I've been up for like 2 hours. I'm actually awake. I'm wrapping presents for my wife right now. I get like lots of like Etsy stuff.
Hello.
So my wife's
in the
I got like zombie gnomes.
How's it going
shit like that.
Aw.
What's up, Relly?
What's up, Rel?
Hey, Rel.
Howdy. I gotta swap my mic mode, so I'm about to get louder. Okay.
Let's go.
All right. I have to swap my mic mode because Discord won't. My Discord, not yours. My Discord won't pick up the thing. Okay, listen. So first things first, you got the first conversation entirely fucking wrong. I never aped you for shitting on people for not grinding. All right, that's not what I did. Okay, our conversation was whether or not people realistically misuse money at all income brackets, which is objectively true. But you decided to argue against the idea. You thought that all poor people spent their money perfectly, which was laughable.
No, I didn't.
Yes, that was literally what the debate was over, was whether or not poor people can allocate their money better and allocate their savings better in order to afford them better opportunities. That was my whole argument. It came after the Destiny Move argument because a bunch of people were big mad over the weird idea that poor people can save money and that poor people can sometimes misuse their money. So I have no idea where you're fabricating this idea that I ever said, somebody that grew up on food stamps, grew up poor, single fucking mother, right, poverty my whole life. The very first time anybody in my family has ever gone above $20,000 a year was literally me. So I don't know where you're getting this fucking idea from in your entire fucking life that I was arguing that people aren't grinding hard enough. I don't know where you're getting this fucking idea, but it's laughable.
Oh, okay.
Don't fucking pull this. You're over here talking about how I'm talking about like poor people talking down to poor people, and you're sitting over here and you make fucking 4 times as much as me, and you're trying to say that I'm talking down to poor people. What the fuck do you mean? Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? What do you mean?
Hey, I didn't say you were talking.
Yes, you did. Don't fucking make me run this shit back. I literally listened to it a second ago on stream. Like, Dylan, did you hear it? Do I have to pull in other people's opinions here?
Okay, wait. Can I just say quickly? I did ask him what his thing with you is, so it just to say that he didn't like randomly bring you up.
I know he didn't. But what I'm saying is his response to that was saying that I thought that poor people didn't grind hard enough, which is absolutely laughable.
Right, well, I'm not a good party to ask about this. I'm super tired right now. You should probably ask like Ira or somebody else. Okay?
For what it's worth, your playback, I probably said something along.
Oh, hey, Judd, like, drama farming, huh? Drama farming, ain't you, Judd?
This is how it went, or something.
You're fucking welcome.
Whatever.
I'm just here to listen.
Okay,
a beast has been awoken.
What's up, Chad?
Wow. Listen, can I say first of all, Can we just have a normal conversation though? Like, I understand people are upset and stuff. But
Silence! No drama, drama, drama.
I mean, come on. I'm not gonna sit here and let people yell at each other. Like, come on, Rel. I love you, and I you know, like, come on. We can figure this out.
Can you mute IRI, please, at once?
I have no problem having a normal conversation. I just don't like it when people misrepresent what happened in the past. I have no idea why you would do that.
Like I said, I'm fairly sure I said, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it went this way. And number two, if I'm wrong, I wasn't trying to misrepresent you. It was like a year and a half ago. Like literally
the problem is I have no idea why you would think it would be consistent with any of my political positions to literally, I quote, to say that poor people don't grind hard enough. I don't know what in the world. So this is one of the big issues that I have with online political discourse in general, is it seems like as soon as, I'm going to say people like you, because you just did it, okay? People like you actively get inside of a position where they don't like another person, they will try their best to be able to misrepresent and have amnesia about people's positions and try and obfuscate. I don't know why people do this. People do it with Destiny. People do it with Hassan all the time. People act like Hassan like goes out of his way to like specifically cherish and love all tankies inside of his community because they feel they just want to dunk on Hassan, when that's absolutely ridiculous. When you can look at some of his many multitudes of political positions that are arguing against tankies. People do it with Destiny when they had amnesia about his political opinion about protesters. When it came to his controversial clip, everybody thought, oh, he's just advocating for killing leftist protesters. Do you think for a second that maybe if you look at the political opinion of the person that you're talking about, that that's not really consistent with what they're saying, and maybe you're pushing a really weird narrative? Like, I would never say about you that you're pushing that, like, black people should be genocided, but it feels like you're just saying, you know what, f it, I don't like this person, I'm going to say whatever story I want, even though I know for a fact it's not consistent with their positions.
What I'm most thankful for this holiday season is the gift of giving.
You mean like subs?
Yeah, exactly, yes.
Yeah, if this is the content you all crave. I mean, Dylan literally did set this up for y'all so he could get woken up at hour 21 and y'all could drop him some subs. You should give the man a little credit. I mean, 21 hours, his brain's fucking Alpine lace Swiss cheese, and he's still fucking hooking it for you. You should fucking give the man a gift or something, people.
Yep.
So anyway, no, listen, really, I wasn't, for what it's worth, I wasn't trying to misrepresent your opinion. If I got that wrong, I got that wrong regarding like whatever your political opinion was. Again, year and a half ago, I had started streaming like 2 years ago. I probably didn't even know you that well. You're probably somebody whose room I had been in half a dozen times. I think I met you on that, and then shortly thereafter, we ended up playing the Civ game with Dylan, which was over a year ago. So, I mean, hey, if I'm wrong,
Good
I'm wrong.
fucking
Totally
times,
shit.
by
I'm
the
totally
way.
fine
That
with
first season was amazing.
That trailer, who made that video trailer that you ended up putting out?
Geek did.
Okay, the trailer was pretty dope, I'm not gonna lie. It was... that was good shit. Also, coming back and dying twice in the second game was fun too. So that was good.
Hey, thanks for all the subs, chat. I appreciate it. Thanks for the Prime Gaming, the Half-Life, Nuclear. Thanks for the Prime Gaming. Electro Retro. Thanks for the tier 1.
Yeah, I just wanted to clear up all of the shit that you were saying and make sure that the truth was getting out there. All right. And by the way, I don't like that you're representing the only times that we have conversations or debates, considering literally the time that we talked the second time about it was a completely fine conversation. There was not very much yelling in that at all.
No, I didn't say there was yelling. I never said there was
it was a conversation. It's not a debate. It was a conversation.
Well, now it's 66% of them. Now, if we include this one, though.
Like you're, I think that you
literally be the third talk we've had.
Yeah, I know. And in the second,
in 2 years.
Yeah, and I know. In the second one, you were representing it. You said specifically before I got in here that whenever you talk with me, it's always a debate. The second time was not a debate. You represented it as a debate because there was disagreements, but that's all it was. There wasn't yelling. There wasn't any of that. We had disagreements, and it was a conversation.
Part of the debate. I never said I think yelling's part of the debate. I said you decided to ask me like 400 some odd questions in 90 minutes because you were constantly trying to clarify a point because you were in a debate mode. Because it's just how you roll. And I've said time and time again, I don't give people shit for how they fucking roll. Like, I accept people for who they are. I accept Chud as farming drama. I accept Dylan as Eric Bischoff Jr. I accept fucking IRI and I are going to have fucking far disparities on how we believe the political left of the United States of America should move. So I have conversations with all these people.
Okay. So what made our conversation a debate?
It felt very debatey because, again, I literally asked me like 400 clarifying point questions in 90. Like, you were trying to do the thing where you keep asking clarifying questions so you could put somebody in a corner. So you go, hi, your point is crap. Like, it was literally like the conversation we had was exactly the same way one would have a Twitch debate.
So what am I supposed to do? Just not ask you as many questions? What am I supposed to do?
Well, you gotta like have an actual conversation. Let people like get whole sentences out.
That's what I'm asking you. What was I supposed to do?
I could go back and watch the whole 3-hour tape of the conversation, I guess, and then like I'd come back to you and have clearer points as to why I thought it felt debatey.
Okay.
I just want to say that sex work is real work, and Dylan is making a ton of money right now watching James from the internet get pounded by Ahrelevant.
Come on, that's not helping. That's not helping.
God.
Let me say, like, look, down low.
Yeah, come on.
I agree with IRI. If anything, this hype train should be even higher. I agree.
True. Look, I want to say, like, you can't take back what happened in the past, but like moving forward, like we can start on a fresh foot here. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, Rel, and I'd be pissed too if like I felt the way you did. But
I've yet to hear, and this was the big problem I had with James, is right after the conversation, he immediately had a stream talking about how it was a debate, bro, not worth talking about. And then when I asked him to have a conversation about that and clarify our positions, he told me no. So this was the part of the issue. This is the first time I could ever talk to this guy because he refuses to talk with me about any of the previous discussion and then just calls me a debate bro and writes me off. He refused. I've asked him multiple times.
Yeah, to be fair, this is the first time you and I have had a conversation that was later than 7 o'clock in the morning.
No, hold on. That was your choice. I've reached out to you twice prior to now to be able to discuss the issues with you going out and talking about how I'm just a debate bro, not worth talking about. I was like, I find this to be inaccurate. I wanted to talk to you about it. I asked you twice and you refused both times and said I was a debate bro and that you're going to refuse to talk from henceforth with debate bros.
Wait, so the talk is happening now?
Presumably.
I mean, we are talking. To be fair, I just looked at my message history, and yes, the last time Relly messaged me back in August, he asked me if I wanted to get together and have a talk, to which my comment was, I don't think we could actually have a talk because there's only debate, and then I said, no, I'm good. So Relly is correct. I did totally shut down his DM invite to have another conversation. You're right. Then I guess we should totally fucking get together and have a conversation.
Well, the problem right now is I don't know what a conversation looks like with you. You just say, at this point, the only thing I have is I can't ask very many questions. I don't know what that looks like. Like, the only thing I have to go off is that you say I asked too many questions. You understand how weird that is, right?
I mean,
is this something we gotta hash out now?
Hey, I broke my hype train, Lamar.
We could go back and watch, we could watch like a 3-hour tape. I mean, I'd go back and watch, but like, I definitely remember you just being like literally all over me. Like you can't have like it literally felt like you didn't want to have a conversation, that you were trying to fucking get me into some fucking like logic submission move to fucking call the I win call. Like, it just seemed like oddly weird for a 7 a.m. conversation.
The reason why it was a 7 a.m. conversation is because you were on at the time. You came into my chat room. And you said you were on, and then we had the the discussion.
Chud, are you having technical difficulties?
No.
Because I feel like your viewers could see it at my stream. Anyway, continue.
Nice meme. And that was the reason why we had that conversation. I didn't like force you to have it at 7 a.m.
True, that's fair, but you also do, like, if somebody types something in your chat that they don't come in chat, you have a habit of, completely pooping on them for trying to avoid you. Would you say that is a thing you do?
That is a based policy that most streamers in the political sphere have begun to adopt, and I'll take full fucking credit for the Discord ban. fucking policy that other people adopt, because that shit is based as hell. People shouldn't be able to say stupid inside of chat rooms and then run away to text chat and ignoring half of your responses to that shit. You should not be able to do that. If you say some stupid shit inside of a chat room, you should, on both ends, the chatter should be willing to get in and engage with the ideas that they're putting forth, and the streamer should be obligated to engage with that those discussions as long as they're in good faith. Which,
but the chatter can't ban the streamer though. Like a one-sided exchange.
So
I say skip the Discord, just ban.
Well, I don't think that makes it a. I don't think. I don't think it's a one-sided.
Or is this like, can we just chill out, or is this got to be something we got to do?
Joe
now?
Lewis, what do you think is happening right now? Because it feels like you came in with no knowledge of what is happening right now.
Yeah.
I just came in here to chill with them. That's all.
Wait, hold on, Joe.
Come in for a few hours.
You just came
here to fight with Ahrelevant too?
Hey, Joe, I appreciate you.
I know me and Joe have some bad blood as well, but.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yes, you do. Yes, you don't. Don't be obtuse. You. Wow. Do we have a lot of people obfuscating now?
Merry Christmas.
Even if we were to have some bad beef, I ain't gonna do it here, man.
You're doing it. You're doing it right now. You jumped into the middle of this, and you're just telling us to stop something that you have no idea what is going on.
If you guys want to fight and Dylan's cool with it, then I'm cool with it too.
Thanks for your input, buddy. All right, so back to all right. So James, so right in our previous talk, right, our second talk, I thought it was pretty productive. I'll agree. Our first talk got really fucking heated. There was a lot of going back and forth, and I was trying to reach out to you post that second talk so that way we could talk about what it meant to have a conversation. And I still don't feel like I have a conclusive answer. It seems like right now the only information I have is not to ask very many questions, and you seem to feel like I'm pinning you in a corner. I would argue that personally, or at least not even my, I would argue everybody does, some measure of, hey, if we are having a conversation about a given topic, you are on one end, I am on another end, exploring hypotheticals to show you why your end of the conversation leads to a bad outcome is necessary, because otherwise we're just jerking each other off. And that's what I would argue what I did.
Now I remember. Hold on. Now I remember this. Wait a minute. This was the conversation where, hold on, wait a minute. I want to get this right, because I don't want to misrepresent you here. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm remembering this now. Huh. Oh yeah, this was the one where we were talking. That's right. You were talking about land back, and then we had a conversation about it. I literally came at you with a bunch of actual solid ideas and solid real world examples of governments and nations giving land back to conquered people, to which you then said you didn't know any of the answers I gave you. And then you laughed at me and mocked me for 20 minutes, talking about how you couldn't believe how ridiculous it was that I even engaged with you, let alone gave you an answer. Because
hold on.
Land back is a quote meme. That's exactly what you said.
No, it's not. It's the exact opposite. I actually
no.
Hold on.
Is that what you said, Relly?
Nice meme, dude.
What do you mean?
It was the exact opposite. You were the very first person that I had ever experienced who had actually engaged with, I remember it distinctly, Native American people, you said, should receive all of America back. You said that, and you fell on that stake. You were the very first person, and I stated, and maybe this is where you're getting confused, I stated I have never heard somebody actually bite that bullet. And I was surprised that you would be candid and bite that bullet. You said that Native Americans should receive all of America. Yeah, that's the meme. The meme question is whether or not Native Americans should get all of the land back, and you said yes. And I was like, yeah, I was surprised you did that. I wasn't making fun of you for doing it. I was surprised that you would actually agree to that, given that to say yes to that. Because usually people see that as being like, no, I wouldn't give all of the land back to Native Americans, and then we pushed further. I talked, okay, what if all of the Native American people wanted to kick all of the non-Native American people out? You said, well, we would give them all of the land back with the exemption that, or the exemption, with the necessary caveat that the people that are like actively in America right now would be in positions of political power so that way they could advocate for themselves. That was your argument, right? But at the end of the day, the Native American people would own every square foot of America, was your argument. And I stay consistent with my position. I have never heard somebody that owned that. I don't think anybody else here in this chat room besides me or James heard somebody that said a Native American should own every square inch of America, and it should all be, so your home, Dylan, should be given to a Native American person. Every square inch, he said, should be owned by Native American people.
Wait. But if I give it back, if I don't give it back, am I racist?
Well, you are forced to give it to them. You can't do it. You are forced to give it to Native American people.
Yeah, but I'm asking whether or not that would make me racist or not.
Wait, why would it make you racist?
I'm just asking because if I don't give it back, right, and now I'm a
Dylan's
racist.
Meme.
I see. Yeah, okay.
Come on, he's running you up.
I didn't even understand what the meme was, to be honest, for a bit there. But anyway,
you don't usually understand racism.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I personally, I never experienced it, and it doesn't seem like anybody else in here had experienced somebody who had said that. That was my point. I never experienced anybody who had agreed with that argument. You did. All right? That was my whole thing.
I definitely think on today's stream, I'm going to go back and replay that.
Yeah, you can do that if you like.
Because I feel like it happened a little bit differently than that, and I'm going to be fair here and say that I am unsure as to whether or not I said like the entirety of everything should be given back, or if it was that treaties should be followed, and then all of that treaty conquered land should be returned, and then the people who live on that land would still live on that land. Like, at no point did I say we should give the United States of America to the combined Native American tribes, and then they kick 330 million people out of their houses. I know I never said that.
You didn't say. Did my mic disable earlier? What I said specifically is they would give all of the land to Native American people, but there would be caveats that people as is would still be able to like live in the area. All right? I don't know if my mic got turned off in the middle of that. That's what I said. But at the end of the day, Native American people would own every square inch of America. That was your argument. All of it should be given back.
It's highly probable. I mean, like I said, I will go back and review it.
Do you own that position?
I do remember you spending like a ton of time laughing at me for answering the meme question. Like, you literally thought it was funny and laughable.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
I am right. That part I do remember.
Okay.
Gappy, okay? Look, this is not your free content, dude. Goodbye. Okay? Okay, I have a thing scheduled with Gappy later, okay?
Oh, come on. Gappy 5. Let's get Gappy in.
Oh, my God.
Listen, okay. I'm going to leave you.
It's becoming a prime campaign. Okay, you're going to leave me, Chud?
I'm going to leave you to it, okay? Because I feel bad about leashing this. But have a good one, everyone, okay? Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay.
Nice. Everybody's in. Look at this.
James, do you own that position?
Take James's side just for fun.
It's going to be a beatdown. I like
James. Do you own that position?
I remember this conversation pretty well, and I just want to run this by the terminology that I remember about the land back thing and see if this rings a bell, at least for Ahrelevant, and maybe for you, James. What I remember is Ahrelevant saying, like, okay, there's no further I can go in this conversation, because honestly, I've just never heard anybody like own the position that like all the land should go back to like indigenous people, and then you guys move forward from there. You were just like, I just remember Ahrelevant saying, I've never heard anybody own that position. I do remember
that. We moved on to philosophy. I think after that, some philosophical topic, because I couldn't tell you that you're wrong for doing that, for saying that all Native American people should own the land back to that stuff. Like, and I remember pressing you on, well, what about the people who came before this? And then you said essentially, I think some argument to, well, we can't easily track this, and if we could, then we would. Was I believe your argument. Your argument was about if we easily could, and I believe that's just how it went, is I couldn't really argue against it. I don't think that's the right way to go about it, and you're right, I may have laughed about it, but at the end of the day, I never heard the argument before that all land should be returned.
Personally, my recollection is that you distinctly did not laugh, and that maybe people in chat were calling it the meme answer or whatever, but like I remember Ahrelevant just being like, I gotta be honest with you, like I've just never heard anybody like actually bite the bullet on this answer. So, like, we can move on to another topic.
Well, actually,
I remember that proceeding pretty amicably.
I would like to hear if James still holds that opinion, or if he holds a separate opinion as well.
What, do I think that we should give the
all
combined descendants of Native American tribes all the land?
Yeah, in America.
Yes. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's a good conversation to have. I definitely think that if nothing else, Native Americans should have like a lot more representation over the land and the legislation. I don't think like having people live as a conquered folk on small pieces of land that keep getting chopped away through 9 different levels of treaties, all of which get ignored and rolled back, is really a good fucking system to begin with. Like I have trouble with the whole, and I know you all hate the fucking here, I'll say colonizer, and I'll leave off the hard R because I know like,
yes, you get it with the soft A. You get it with the soft A.
Like I know it's a thing, like, but there has to be some kind of reconciliation, like in my mind, thinking, okay, we'll go out, we'll conquer a whole bunch of people, and then we go, okay, now everything's set the way it is. It's just it seems fundamentally wrong.
To my knowledge, this went exactly what you just said is exactly how our previous conversation went, because I remember we got into the same topic with black people, and then we talked about whether or not we give black people businesses, or like or we could give black people houses or like empty lots versus like land specifically just broadly, or like specific houses to like build businesses or buildings to build businesses, not just houses and stuff. Like I remember that's exactly how the conversation went.
He wants to give people 400 million acres and a mule.
There you go.
I remember a couple of details from that conversation that I just think would be interesting to get clarification on. I remember in the conversation leading up to that with Lucifer, that you claimed it would be a good idea if the New York Stock Exchange crashed, and then when asked like, well, like what would happen if that happened, like which country would take the hegemony after America, and you said, I don't care because I'm not like an ethnocentric.
But then it means that it would be the Native Americans that have to deal with it. That's the grand plot.
True.
Well, there's that as well, but you basically said, I don't care who picks up the pieces if the New York Stock Exchange crashes because I'm not like an ethnocentric fascist war hawk or something like that. I'm just curious if you still hold that position.
I don't know. I would have to hear if I actually said the words ethnocentric war hawk before I could clarify whether or not that was my position, because that's a rather large helping of words to throw in my mouth. So I'd have to confirm that that's something what I said before I could confirm my opinion on it, because I don't know, that even for me that sounds a little out there.
Well, sure, you don't have to address that part. You can address the part where you said like that it would be threatening you with a good time, the idea that the New York Stock Exchange would crash. And when asked like if you cared who picked up the pieces, you said no. Whether or not you said all this stuff about ethnocentric, warhawk, fascist stuff, whatever.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you're asking me about the fact that I'm an anti-capitalist and I think capitalism should be crashed and I think that the government should stop buoying it, of course. I mean, if capitalism's such an awesome system, it shouldn't need to be fucking buoyed and bailed out time and time again.
So if the New York Stock Exchange crashed and America lost its like economic hegemony over the world, like would you be concerned about who would like pick up the reins?
I mean, considering if you look at top like what 8 economies, you're talking it would be who? Russia, France, England, Germany, or China? Pretty much. Those would be your choices of who would pick up the majority of the
Are you concerned about this?
Power?
Like who it would be?
No, I mean, I'm not overly concerned. I think there's a multitude of fucking countries on the face of the planet with both active economies and nuclear weapons as a deterrent. So if like what you're getting at is if the fucking stock market fell and then China ended up with 30% of the, the world economic power and like the global currency for, standardized trading moved from the US dollar, the petrodollar to the yen and all the other stuff, would I be concerned? I'm not concerned with it in theory. I guess it would depend on how it shook out.
Sure. So I guess what I would ask is like if the U.S. lost its ability to pay for its military, what do you think would happen in the South China Sea?
I don't know. There's never been a time in U.S. history when the U.S. has lost its ability to pay for its military, even during times of economic hardship. Like even during the Great Depression, we still managed to crank out like 100 trillion fucking tons of tanks and planes in 20 years, and then re-outfitted from World War I to World War II and became an industrial powerhouse, all on the back of like 12 consecutive years of complete economic depravity. And yet somehow we still managed to produce the military at the highest levels.
Can I leave? Can I leave? I came in here to have fun, and this is turning into a fucking debate, just piling on James. Like, this isn't cool, man. This fucking sucks.
I'm used
you guys
to
have
this
fun.
guy, all right? All the time, bro. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I see this conversation taking the same flavor that you had with Ahrelevant. I remember strictly like this is part of the conversation you had with Ahrelevant, which was like, well, we're hypothetically debating what's in a hypothetical. You guys had a discussion about the value and the function of hypotheticals. Does this sound familiar?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of hypotheticals when there are so many real world examples people could normally draw from to make a point or to ask for clarification rather than clarifying on a hypothetical.
Okay, I just do remember this as well.
So-
I'm just trying to like jog memories of how the
Quickly,
last conversation
IRI,
went.
I appreciate you coming by. I understand why you didn't want to stay. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just being essentially a rehash. I remember why we stopped talking about this stuff, that specific topic, and the reason why was because ultimately, after pressing about the stock exchange question, the question that I posed to you is, why would you say that you would be happy or elated about something happening where you are uncertain of the outcome? Meaning that, like, if the stock exchange crashed in America and you don't know what will happen as a result, why would you be elated as a result of that happening? It seems like an incredibly uncertain time that could cause massive trouble for potentially everybody on the planet. Right? Just having the American stock exchange doesn't just affect Americans. It affects billions of people. It affects the global economy.
Yes, I referenced the global economy.
I know. I'm just going back over my recounting of what happened. And then the issue that we got into is you made the claims, or we had gotten down to the idea that you weren't making prescriptions, but you were just talking about what yourself were referencing. That's where we got, that was the final one. The philosophical one was about whether or not you find use in making prescriptions and for philosophical prescriptions for things and where things might be headed once we talk about like socialism. Your argument was that you just like the idea of socialism, not necessarily that like your certain specific policies are like leading to some prescription that will necessarily go to socialism, but you like certain ideas about socialism.
It's a Christmas miracle. Ahrelevant's on a hippy dippy.
Nice.
Hey, I just want to add, I totally got Ahrelevant on Doomer Hours twice.
Okay.
It's impossible, but we got it.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I don't know. That's. I remember how that conversation. I felt like that was a conversation. I didn't feel like that was a debate. But like, I came in here specifically because of the first thing that you said that was, in my opinion, or your representation of the first conversation, which I believed was inaccurate. And then on the second conversation, I don't believe it was a debate. I believe it was a perfectly fine conversation. And then to just try and have a conversation with you about how do I talk with you? That isn't a debate. Would you say that what we've participated in up till now is a debate?
This has been a mild conversation with 4 different assists from 4 different angles, but yeah, I would call it fairly a conversation, sure.
What's the difference between this and the other one?
Because when I was in your chat, I think you were specifically talking about land back, and you pressed me on the land back thing for about an hour, and then 20 minutes later, we're discussing what genetic level of blackness through a 23andMe test would be applicable to have to grant black people money back as the children of former slaves, and then it pivoted to global economics, and it became like the pivot session when I literally come into, like, I had made a comment about discussing land back, and that was what
do
I
you
had
think
to
it's
talk about.
Do you think it's fair to call it a pivot session, or do you think
Okay,
that
wait,
maybe
can I do something quick?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a time limit on this, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna put a time limit.
If you put a time limit on it, it's a debate.
Okay, I'm gonna put a time limit on it, okay? I'll give you guys like 20, 25 minutes max, okay? Anything past that.
Oh my god. We're gonna talk about
Oh,
this
yeah,
for another 25
I don't
minutes?
feel like this will last 25 minutes, but anyway.
I said max.
Sure,
okay?
sure.
So,
I don't
but I'm
think it'll get
putting a
anywhere
limit
near
on
that.
it just in case it goes that far, because if it does,
please.
I don't want to hear it that longer than that.
No, I still have shit to do.
Okay. So, again, I just want to say then that in reference to the conversation that we had, right? I don't think it's fair to call it a pivot session when we were moving very naturally to other topics. We talked about land back, and then that naturally segued into reparations for black people, because we were talking about reparations for Native American people. You understand that connection's unbelievably clear, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that's not a pivot. That's like a worse to segue, like a natural escalation of the conversation into a blackness. And I feel like the conversation about genetics when it comes to reparations is one that you have to have. If I am 1%, if I'm the Elizabeth Warren of black people, do I get full reparations stake? Or is it not based off of genetics at all? Is it based off of like a region? What is it based off of? And that's
and this was the part of the conversation where things slowly like unraveled, and basically the end point was then we should ask the people who are most affected what they think the threshold would be and what they want, because
right,
again,
you determine who's most affected.
Right, and I'm not the determiner of such things, because again, we're talking about a hypothetical, and this is where I like tend to like fucking zone out on conversations once we like go to the outreach of the hypothetical like I just start to fucking glaze over,
and
because I'm fully based in real world politics.
See, that was the big issue that we ran into. We're pretty much rehashing over the conversation, so that's why I don't think that this is going to take very long. Is when we were talking about the hypotheticals, you were saying that you don't like dealing with hypotheticals because you like dealing with real world solutions. My argument was that you need to engage with hypotheticals so that way you can understand what the real world solutions will look like. You can't just say, well, this is going to happen just because. You have to deal with like a hypothesis or hypotheticals to be able to understand, well, what might work, what other things might not work. You can't just go, well, I just know what will work because I know what will work. You have to test what you think will work.
And then I gave you historical examples of multiple times that other conquering nations gave land back to the people who they conquered, and your answer, I believe, was, well, I don't know about any of those. And then you went back to discussing hypotheticals when there were actual historical real-world samples that have happened in the last century.
No. Again, I'm not sure if you want to, if you're doing this, I'm going to assume you're being good faith here. What I said in reference to those was that they weren't nearly on the scale of what you were referencing for America. Right? What you're referencing for America is like a $500 trillion handing away of assets. Every street, every lamppost, every fire hydrant, every building, slate of concrete, piece of wood, and blade of grass would be given to a Native American person. You're talking about
the colors of the wind.
You're talking about hundreds of trillions of dollars being handed over to Native American people. This is the largest redistribution of wealth that will probably ever occur in the history of mankind, if it were to happen, right? And so I was saying that something on this scale has never happened before, and that does include the ones that you referenced. That's what I said. I didn't say like I never, and it's true, I hadn't heard of those given instances of reparations. I wasn't educated on them, and that's still true even to this day. But one thing I know of is it was not on the scale of what is happening currently with America, or what would happen currently in that hypothetical with America. Right, and so just go ahead.
James, do you believe in private property?
Do I believe in private property?
Wait. To be clear, James, did you want to respond to any of that before other people barrage you with questions?
No. I'm used to just dealing with the barrage. This is a good workout for me for the next season of Hippy Dippy after these last 2 or 3 quote people get dealt with, and I go get my run as a heel.
Can I address this?
Who do you work for?
Can I address
James
that?
would be a great heel, unironically.
Can I address that? Like, he referred to that as a barrage, like the connotation of that being. No, you did.
I did.
Well, you did as well. Like, can I address that?
Then
like,
why don't you respond to me, Ahrelevant? Are you scared to go after me?
I'll do both. Listen, I'm not scared of you, Dylan. All right, we both.
What about my fucking movers and shakers, Rel?
Hey, listen, all right, your movers and shakers couldn't move me onto your fucking podcast until now, so like they ain't too good at their job. Hey,
you're here and you didn't even think you'd be here, huh?
Hey, listen,
movers and shakers, they get more powerful by the day.
Hey, listen. Everybody knows if you want to put me on a podcast, you get somebody that disagrees with me and calls me out, and then you'll fucking get me there. Everybody knows that. All right.
Dylan, is it okay if I just hop in like this? By the way.
Who is talking right now?
Luxifer.
This is almost a Mayor's 6 reunion.
Wait, is Luxifer in here? Okay, let me look at the people in here. Okay, Luxifer.
Yeah, okay? I don't want to like hop in just uninvited or anything like that, but I know I did earlier when there was like not that many people here.
Okay, what do you want? What do you want, Luxifer?
I don't want anything. I just thought I'd hop in because I saw everyone else was here.
But is the beanie on? That's a more important question.
No,
but serious.
Sure. Okay, you can hop
question.
in here if you're just listening. Okay.
Serious question though. Do you believe in private property?
No, I do not believe in private property.
So what is the significance of giving land to the Native Americans if you don't believe in private property? If you don't believe that the Native Americans can even legitimately own that land,
That's a good
then
question.
what the hell is the point of giving them the land?
Well,
This is the only thing I want to. Can I?
Wait,
I wanna
wait,
add
no,
this
no,
to-
no, 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 no. You gotta let him before you add anything. Okay, you gotta let a man respond. Okay.
Jesus. See, this is what always happens. So again, you asked me what what would I like to see? I do not believe, my personal belief system is that I don't believe in private property because private property is a contract with the government, and all private property is actually owned by the government and not by the people. And I thought you as a ANCAP would be absolutely on top of that shit, like flies on shit, but I guess not. The fact that I
Well, don't
exist
try and
within a
pivot. Don't try and pivot. No,
the
you're trying to
fact that-
pivot away from
wow,
the
I'm gonna-
question.
Wait, let
Let him
him.
answer.
You
Yeah.
gotta
See,
let him
this is what
answer it.
happens, Dylan. It's Dylan. Here's the issue.
Okay,
Every
but
time
I-
you bring me on, I'm the person who's in the wrong because I'm talking while everybody else is interrupting, and then somehow I'm the one who gets.
Okay.
How many people are there in here now? How many people want a fucking James scalp on their wall? Like, come on, look at this.
I just
Okay.
I
be
just
fair, I
want you
wasn't
to be
going
able to
that
work
far.
your
Like a
stuff out with
Merc session.
Ahrelevant,
Okay,
and it seems like
okay.
you guys were working things out because
Okay.
you didn't agree to work things out with him any other way.
Yeah, you didn't agree to have a conversation with me about how to move forward properly, and I just wanted to do that, and this is the only way that it seems like this has ever been able to occur because you rejected my 2 offers to be able to do so.
So let me throw something out here so that Dylan isn't totally in pain, because the idea was I needed him to wake up, not want to go back to sleep for a much longer time. So would you like to schedule a day? Do you want to get together one day and have a long
Sure.
conversation, talk,
Sure.
debate, whatever? Okay. I will. So this way I'm I'm on Dylan's thing. It's on the VOD. I will hit you back up on our, because I know we still have a short DM Discord thread. I will hit you up. We will set something up. We'll get together. Is that cool?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
James, I'm not trying to trap you, right?
One thing
What
taken
I'm
care of.
trying to say here, right, is I think maybe some of the confusion in this conversation, because I noticed that Ahrelevant is what the fuck are you talking about? You want to give literally the entire country to the Native Americans, but then he's also talking about representation and caveats about what people own, and I think the issue here, right, might be that in your ideological framework, you're not working from a position where you want the Native Americans to own, in the traditional sense, the entirety of America, right? I obviously disagree with you, but I'm trying to maybe shine a light on how the ideological differences are confusing.
Sure, that makes sense.
The way this is put forward. So if you don't believe in private property, what does it mean to give the land back to the Native Americans? And maybe if you expand upon that, it'll get rid of some confusion.
Okay, so you're conflating asking me what my opinion of something is versus how would something happen in the real world. And I think that Relly and I actually, this was a stumbling point on one of the conversations we had. Asking me my opinion, what would I want? I would want to not have private property. I would want to live in a country and or a world that doesn't have private property, where government owns all the land and the only way you have access to it is by signing a contract with the government. Okay, I find that to be a rather onerous and ridiculous way to live one's life and force 8 billion people to exist. I think that's fucking silly. However, I acknowledge that I live in the real world where there are governments and there's capitalism and there's private property and there's ownership. Ergo, what would I want to do versus how could we possibly do this are 2 entirely different things.
Yo, we're all losers.
True.
Well,
That's a good one.
Scott?
Okay, wrapping it up.
Yeah,
Good to have it.
I was
Good to
just
have
going to talk to Scott. Scott, I thought your input was really good. I thought you engaged in some interesting question there. I think that absolutely, if engaged with properly, your question could have potentially bridged the gap there. I thought it was really insightful. I appreciate that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
I liked it.
I think you guys are all intellectual titans, and I'm so glad to be sharing a space with all of these brilliant minds.
Somehow that was the most cringe thing that was said since I joined.
Lux, are you wearing the hoodie?
I just asked this
no,
question.
I'm not.
Oh damn! You're not 8 Miled.
How are you, by the way, Frames? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Dude, I'm even though I didn't talk, I'm just happy to be included. All right.
All right.
I'm just gonna shit and
I'm gonna go.
in chat.
Bob turns his chest away from where he's throwing that. That's because he doesn't want his body cam to pick it up. He turns his chest away from it. See? Chest facing that way.
Oh no!
I remember the chest turning meme.
He knew. He has it on him. He just. Whoop, yep.
Have you ever taken anything in or out of a car before? Or maybe he's got servants that do it at this point, actually. Like, are we like fucking Gundams? Like, you've been watching too much JCS.
That's a little slippy.
Oh, apparently he realizes he's wrong on the same stream. All right, here we go. Uh-oh. Oh, this guy, I got King Jack, and this guy's going all in. Uh-oh.
Full stream.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that shit is cringe. I'm gonna hold to it. I'm gonna bet it's gonna happen again. I'm gonna have a conversation with James. He's gonna say it's a debate because we're gonna examine some ideas. We're gonna get to the root of some ideas, and then he's gonna say that I'd like debate broed him and down. It's just the way that it goes. It's just the way that it happens. It is what it is.